Hi guys, welcome to Adam McKola TV. I am Adam and this is Transfer Deadline Day Live 2018. Yes, the transfer window closes in 56 minutes and today has seen a whole host of rumours in regards to Manchester United, in regards to centre-halves potentially coming to Manchester United, but little action so far. Will we see any action in the next hour? Probably not, let's be honest. But whatever happens in this next hour, I am with you through it all. And straight after this, we'll be heading over to Full-Time Devils as well, where we'll also be having a further debate over there too with a whole host of other people as well. So make sure you're keeping it locked to Adam McKola TV for now, through with you until the transfer window closes. I hope you're all doing well. It's Thursday. It's a weird one. The transfer window closing at 5 p.m. on a Thursday before the season starts. How weird is that? I think it's a good thing. I genuinely think it's a good thing. But I think it's a bad year to introduce it. With the World Cup, I think it was a silly year to introduce it because it was obvious players weren't going to be, as actively on the market, because if they were involved in the World Cup, they weren't going to be involved in a transfer. So it left clubs with very little time to do business. Nevertheless, clubs knew about this deadline being shortened. They knew about the World Cup in advance and they should have been prepared for that. So there may be no excuses, but nevertheless, I think it was a silly idea to bring in the new deadline this year. But I do think the new deadline is a good idea, because then once that deadline comes around, you can start looking forward to the new season and you can start to think, right, these are the teams, they're not going to change. We're going to have this 11 now, or this squad for the foreseeable future up until the January transfer window. So I do think it's a good idea because you don't get any unsettled squads during the season. But I think it was the wrong time to introduce it, with it being a World Cup year and the World Cup obviously taking up a lot of the summer. So it was an interesting year to introduce it, but nevertheless, clubs knew and they've got no excuses if it stopped them from doing business, which it has potentially stopped Manchester United doing business. Manchester United were linked with countless centre halves, and we didn't get it. So it's an interesting one. Let me have a look at what's going on the internet at the moment, and I'll also be checking out your comments as well to see if there's anything popping off online. We've got the news on in front of us as well in case anything does happen, but those guys talk absolute rubbish, so we're not going to expect anything from them. Remember, this is your show. I want to answer your questions. We'll be talking about the Diego Golden rumours. We'll be talking about Harry Maguire, Toby Alderweireld. Even Kurt Zouma was discussed yesterday, as well as the signings United have made in Fred, Diogo Dalot, and of course Lee Grant, and the contract extension of Marouane Fellaini and what that means for the team. We'll be looking at Anthony Martial, unlikely to leave now. Of course, there is still the European transfer window, which runs up until close to the end of August, but Manchester United are very, very unlikely to let a player go, especially a player of that stature and that quality, if we can't bring in a replacement. So this means a whole host of things today. There's a lot to discuss, so keep your questions and your comments coming in here on Adam McKola TV. I'll be with you up until 5 o'clock, and then from 5 o'clock for another 10 or 15 minutes, we'll be over on Full-Time Devils. So who's in the comments at this moment in time? We've got 500 people watching. Welcome to Adam McKola TV, guys. If you've never seen it before, then thank you for joining us. Hit that subscribe button. Let's see that number rising during the show, and let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you're a new member of the channel. That's what we want to see. Right, let's get this live chat up right about now. The other window doesn't close for another few weeks, so people can still leave, says Stephen. Yeah, I am well aware of that, mate. But what you've got to look at is, like I said, with Martial, we need to replace him if we sell him, and we can't replace him, so we're unlikely to sell him. Also, you're looking at, what's the other option? Sorry, Darmian. That's what I meant to say. He could possibly leave. Now, what we've got into a situation with Matteo Darmian is, we've got a player that wants to leave the club. We've got a club that needs a right back at the minute because Valencia and Dalot are injured. Fosu Mensah has been linked with a loan move. So when you're looking at that, United need to keep Darmian for a bit. He's likely to start tomorrow night against Leicester City. So we could sell him further into the window. So yes, I totally understand that the transfer window for European clubs is extended, but I still don't think we'll see any any major moves from Manchester United. No moves that really affect us anyway. Sonny, welcome to Adam McKola TV. Thank you for joining us. Samoan85 is an oldie but a goldie. He says Raw Productions is in the house as well. Thank you for joining us. Messi to sign on the last minute. That's definitely not happening. What do I think of Ed Woodward, says Sukhvir Singh. I think Ed Woodward is a very talented man when it comes to bringing in deals. He's not stupid. You can get a lot of money in for the club. I don't think he's a footballing man, and I think we've seen his lack of, he's out of his depth when it comes to the footballing side of things. And I think the mere fact that he makes Manchester United so much money will keep him in his job for a lot longer than him being bad at the footballing side of things. So I think he needs a little bit of help in terms of football, bringing in players, discussions for players, etc. But then would something like a director of football make sense with a manager like Jose Mourinho at the helm at the moment? I'm not too sure. But Ed Woodward has been able to get big deals done for United as well when you think of it in the past. Pogba, Lukaku, Ibra, some other good players as well. So it's a difficult one to really judge because he has got players in on the past, and you've got to ask what is beyond his power in terms of spending money, like, because he doesn't own the club. So if the owners are telling him we can't spend X amount without bringing X amount in, then it's not up to Ed Woodward if he can make deals happen or not, then, because it comes down to a lack of funds or a lack of available funds. So it's difficult to judge his job without actually being behind the scenes. Do you get what I'm saying? Haraldinho says United are still rebuilding. We can't expect to win the title. What I would say is it kind of does feel like we're still rebuilding. But this is Jose Mourinho's third season. He's definitely got enough to challenge for the league title. And although myself personally, I want to see a centre-half, and I understand Jose Mourinho's want for a centre-half. But when you look at that and you think, okay, we need a centre-half, but Jose Mourinho has spent 60 million on centre-halves. So surely he could get something out of those two. And I do actually think Bailly and Lindelöf have a very bright future. I just hope they manage to settle this season and this for Manchester United. Because if we can get Bailly and Lindelöf forming a partnership and staying fit, staying in the team, then our need for a new centre-half becomes less. The need for a new centre-half comes when we've got injuries, because we know that the supporting cast, the Smallings, the Jones, Rojo, yes, at times they can have very good games. At times they can have fantastic performances. But more often than not, they're unreliable. Whether injuries, whether performance, whatever. So that's where the problem comes. If we get injuries to our centre-halves, we're not winning the league, I don't think. We can't win the league with Smalling and Jones. Colby says, Adam, do you think it would be dangerous for other clubs to underestimate Manchester United this season? Look, I know I'm unhappy with the lack of a centre-half brought in. I'm unhappy with the lack of some outgoings not happening. But we've got a manager that has done it in the past. Whether he looks like he can still do it or not, that's your opinion. We're a club that's a massive club that's used to winning things. And when you look at some of the players that we've got, Paul Pogba, Romelu Lukaku, I think Alexis Sánchez is going to be excellent this season. Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Juan Mata. When you look at these players, Jesse Lingard, they can get goals, they can make things happen, they can win games for you. So if we can sort that defence out, which I know a lot of people are going to point out the fact that our defence was fantastic. We've got one of the best defensive records and whatnot. If you watch Manchester United, you will know that's in spite of the defence, not because of the defence. And because of probably David De Gea. So, yeah, it depends on that defence and, of course, the attack clicking. Jose has no excuses for not getting goals out of that front line. I think Lukaku, you know, he exceeded expectations in that he got his best ever tally for any club in his career last season. It was fantastic, but we didn't create enough chances for him. Alexis Sánchez, we want more goals from him. He should be getting 20 goals plus. Rashford, Martial, same can be said. Mata, we have to get more out of these players. Pogba, double figures should be the target for him in goals. So if these players perform to their capability and are allowed to do that, then we could be successful. But for me, there's too many question marks over that defence for me to put money on it. Kato says, what are your thoughts on the left back at PSG? Kazawa, I'm assuming you're talking about. I haven't got much of an opinion on that one too. I don't think it's going to happen, to be totally honest with you. Now, the first thing we want to discuss today, I've got some notes over here for little discussion points. So the first one I want to discuss today, let me get a drink, is Diego Godin, Atletico Madrid's captain. Now today he was linked out of the blue with a move to Manchester United, and all of us were thinking, what the hell's going on there? Diego Godin to Manchester United. Now we know he's got a release clause of 20 million or something like that. But Sky Sports today reported that Manchester United made an approach to Atletico Madrid for Diego Godin and were knocked back because the player didn't want to move. United were happy to pay the release clause, and then they released that today. But then once further information came out, and Damasio's and the reliable people came out reporting stuff on it, Sky Cave I think as well, it then turned out that Manchester United were approached by the agent last week. United expressed an interest. Godin signed a new deal at Atletico Madrid, and it was obvious United were used by the agent. But this had already happened. This didn't happen today. This didn't happen yesterday. So it's just typical of the press and of the media to save something, because then they can dash that out there on deadline day and act like Manchester United are making moves and trying to make things happen on deadline day. So that's an interesting one for me. But yeah, Diego Godin would have been a very good signing. I mean, he's an absolute quality player. 32 years old, experienced. The age thing's obviously a big thing, but United needed hang on a second. Okay then, so Sky sources are reporting that Timothy Fosu-Mensah could be joining Fulham. Now they don't say whether it's a permanent move or a loan move. I would expect that to be on a loan move. I would be hugely disappointed if it was on a permanent move. So the first bit of deadline day action that we seemingly have is Timothy Fosu-Mensah to Fulham. What are your thoughts on that? Now I'm going to find out some more information on this one. So Timothy Fosu-Mensah to Fulham could be the one. That's as exciting as it gets, guys. Now let me find out what's going on here. Timothy Fosu-Mensah. Right, who said what? Let's find out with you guys. So closing in on a deal for Timothy Fosu-Mensah. But it doesn't say anything about permanent. Wait. Yeah, what the... What are your thoughts on that one, guys? Any more information for me? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're keeping it popped to Adam McKola TV. Like, comment, share. Keep your thoughts coming in. We've got close to 1,000 people watching on this deadline day, and it looks like Timothy Fosu-Mensah is about to join Fulham on loan, it would seem, but I've got no confirmation of this just yet. So it's all very, very interesting. Let me get the live chat up to see what you guys are saying about this one. Loan or no loan, he ain't never coming back, says Specs. One what's the time? Says Jacob. We've got 41 minutes now until we find out what's going on with United and whether we've made a signing, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Every United fan should be frustrated is the comment of Abu Bakr. We got 40 minutes left of the transfer window. And what is going on with Timbo? It's seemingly a loan move. Alex Thompson has come in and said that as well. So it looks like it's a loan move. People on Twitter are seemingly saying it's a loan move. But Timothy Fosu-Mensah to Fulham. I think that's a good move for Timothy Fosu-Mensah. You know, Fulham got a big year ahead of them in the Premier League. They've got some very good players there as well. Some good young players. You're looking at Sessenon. You're looking at the likes of Sessenon, Kearney. They got, I know Mitrović isn't young. They've got Mitrović up front. They've got a team that's going to be trying to do bits in the Premier League this year after getting promoted last season. So it'll be interesting to see how it gets on. They obviously got promoted through the playoffs. I thought they should have got automatic promotion. They didn't get that, but now they're in the Premier League. Timothy Fosu-Mensah on loan to Fulham, seemingly a new deal today. Guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below on that one. Now I'm doing a few bits for full-time Devils today, so excuse me while I do that. Right then, Everton officials are in Barcelona to finalise a bid for Yerry Mina. Now, he was linked with Manchester United for a long time. And now he's at Everton. What did I tell you guys before, though? What did I tell you guys before? I said Yerry Mina's not coming to Manchester United. He's not better than what we've got at this moment in time. We need proven quality. I can understand Alderweireld. I can understand a Golding. But can I understand a Yerry Mina? No, I can't. I'm not surprised to see he's going to Everton. He was linked with Everton and Lyon. Apparently our name was seemingly thrown into the mix just because. And then he's gone to Everton. Everton doing a lot of business. A lot of business. JLPC13 says, thought you were full-time. I am full-time Devils. I'm going live on full-time Devils at 5 o'clock as soon as the window has closed. We are with you here on Adam McKola TV up until the window does close. And then tonight at around 8 p.m, I'm going to be doing a preview for the Leicester game / a debate with Dean. Now, if you remember the debate that we had last week, myself and Dean, we're going to be doing another one for you this week as well. So once the transfers are all confirmed, all of that is done, we'll be getting that through for you. So yeah, make sure you join us tonight as well. If you're watching this, you're enjoying this, and you want to see more, it'll be myself and Dean tonight discussing Manchester United's game with Leicester City tomorrow, and of course giving you our predicted 11s, our predictions for the seasons, etc, etc. The window is not closed yet. We have got 37 minutes up until the window closes. We will be doing fan cam reactions tomorrow night after the game against Leicester City. We got Jordanos watching all the way from Ethiopia. What an absolute legend. Thank you guys, whether you're watching from Ethiopia, Manchester, Mumbai, Birmingham, wherever you're watching from, thank you very much for tuning in to Adam McKola TV. I absolutely appreciate you all. We're close to 1,000 watching right now. Can we get this subscribe number right here, can we get that to 54,000 during this stream? I'm guessing half of you ain't subscribed. So if half of you subscribe right now, we'll get very close to doing that. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We've got an action-packed week for you as well this weekend. Think about it. Friday, we've got Leicester City. So I'll have the Leicester City live reaction for you from outside Old Trafford. We'll have the match day vlog after that as well. And loads this weekend. What you saying? Diaz watching from Mauritius, Delhi, Wales, Japan. Ram, thank you very much. PTS Snackback. First I've heard. We've got Manzin B21 as well. Yes, go on, Demis. Francis United fan 99 says he's watching in Dublin. Muhammad Ali, thank you, mate. Dia's already subscribed. What a legend. And Timothy Fosu Mensah is on the move, it seems. Going to Fulham on loan. Right, let's see what's popping off elsewhere on the old Tinternet. What do you guys make of Thibaut Courtois going to Real Madrid? It means that our boy Dave will be sticking around for a while, won't he? Thank God for that. Yeah, so nothing's going on, guys. I really don't know what to chat about. But you know what? I'm really disappointed Manchester United didn't get Toby Alderweireld. Really disappointed. Now, I know the club are in a position where they don't want to, you know, get their pants pulled down over buying players. But when you're seeing your rivals signing a goalkeeper for 70-odd million, I know they sold one, but they're signing 70-odd million for a goalkeeper. When you're seeing your rivals buying players, and we need players. It's not like we don't need players and guys are just being like selfish and I just want it for the vanity of splashing cash. We need players. We actually need players. Why haven't we got them? Big questions have to be asked. What is going on between Jose Mourinho and the board? Is there a rift there? Is there a problem there? Is Jose Mourinho happy in his job? Because if we want to be successful, we've got to keep our manager happy. If we're not going to back our manager, then questions need to be asked. Are the board confident in him? What's going on? Are the board good enough in bringing the players in, getting the job done, getting the deals done? Are they? Like, there's a lot of questions that stem from this. Because Toby Alderweireld is available. Tottenham Hotspur want to sell him. We know he can leave there next season £25 million. Now, maybe that's made Manchester United think, oh, shit, I ain't spending double on this geezer now. If we can get him for 25 mil next year. But I'd rather have a defender. A good defender. I'm sick of going with what we've got and it not working. And at the back end of last season, Jose Mourinho chose to play Smalling over Bailly. Why? Like, we need a quality defence to win the league. Goals win your games, defence wins your titles. It's that simple. And if Bailly and Lindelöf do not stay fit, I don't think we've got a good enough defence. I don't think we have. And that's the worrying thing for me. Because Alderweireld, seemingly available, seemingly on the market. Even Harry Maguire, man. I know you maybe not want to buy him, but he wanted to come to Manchester United. So, it's an odd one. We should have got business done. It's a real straight, like, why aren't the club and are Jose Mourinho and the club on the same page? Is this going to cause problems deeper into the season? Is Jose Mourinho going to flip? Like, we don't know what the effects of this transfer window can have, not only on the team, but on the relationship between the board and the manager, because the managers come out every season. Last season, he come out and said, I want 4 players. He got 3. The summer before that, he said he didn't get all the players he wanted. This season, he was like, oh, I need 2 players. And then it became, I need 1 player. And now I'm not getting nobody. Yatharf says Luke should start tomorrow. Don says, what's happening with our team? We should get rid of Woodward. While Ed Woodward makes the club so much money, the Glazers will not get rid of him. Granted, he's not really good enough at the footballing side of things, but these lot are purely football. Like, this is this is when I say, are Mourinho and the club on the same page? Because you've got a manager that will be wanting to spend money, wanting to get his team right, wanting to win things. This is an unusual position for him, being third year at a club, not having won a league title. It's an unusual position for him. If he sees this season out, it'll be his longest ever job. And then you've got the club that, are they just happy with getting top 4? Sounds real Arsenal. We used to rip Arsenal for that. Are the board just happy with that? Because the money in the Premier League is ridiculous. The TV money, All that stuff's ridiculous. The sponsorships are bringing in ridiculous. Champions League money, ridiculous. So if United keep bringing that in, the club keep making money, we're always going to have a full house. Like, they don't really care about winning things. And we've heard Ed Woodward in the past say, Liverpool haven't won the league in so long, but look at them. They're always at the top table when it comes to deals and shirt sales and this, that and the other. And when you hear those things coming from Ed Woodward, that should make you sit up and think, rah, what's going on here? Now, we'll talk a little bit on the footballing side of things later in the Leicester City preview, because I do think Jose Mourinho is to blame for certain things, like getting the best out of what he has going forward. Bailly, why wasn't he playing towards the end of the season? He should have been in that team. Is he going to be in the team now? Can we keep him fit? Lindelöf, what's going on at right back, left back, whatever. Like, you look at that, Martial, Rashford, you've got to keep them happy. You've got to get them playing. So when you take all that into consideration, yes, Jose's not doing things perfectly. He's not been speaking about his players perfectly. He's not been doing those things that you expect. But the board as well have a big, big, big part in what is going on at this moment in time at Manchester United. Massive part. And I can understand from a financial perspective, when you look at the defence and you think, you want to buy Alderweireld, but you've just bought Bailly and Lindelöf for 60 million. Yeah, but then he's got Smalling and Jones and Rojo and all these guys that he didn't buy, probably not fully convinced on, and they're not good enough for to be starting week in, week out for United. The club then need to get rid of them, and they need to be efficient in doing that. Jose Mourinho don't get these players sold. Don't be part of the deals. The club have to do that. They have to be good enough in recuperating money, getting rid of players at the right time, doing it properly, doing it respectfully. And they're not. So then, yes, they can say to Jose, yo, we've got this, that and the other, and you spent 60. But then, yo, get rid of the ones that we don't need. For so many players here are so comfortable. It's unbelievable. So many players must feel like, yo, I don't know how I'm still here at Man United, but I'm getting a big wage, playing for the best club in the world. There's no real demands on us to win anything because the board don't give a fuck. And I can see my contract out, or maybe even get an extra one. People forget some of these guys are 29, 30 years old. And people are still looking at them like potential. Let's go to the comments. How many people's watching right about now then? Wow, we've got 1,000 people watching at this moment in time. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Thank you to all the people that have been subscribing while we've been speaking. I'm going to get the live chat up now. Fosu Mensah, Fulham loan. That is the only confirmed deadline day deal so far for Manchester United. Why are we letting Fosu Mensah go? Someone who can play in multiple positions when we're in desperate need for defenders, says Vignesh. I'm hoping it has a similar impact to the one that Andreas Pereira had. If you remember last summer, Andreas Pereira left and we were all thinking, why has Andy left United? He could have done something for us this season. We could have done with him in the squad. Jose even said the same thing. But then Andreas Pereira went away, got more game time, got experience out at Valencia, came back, and even though it looked like that loan move didn't go great for him, he's come back. And now he's in a position where he's starting this Leicester game, or at least he should be. So hopefully it works for Timothy Fosu Mensah, because he's a very talented player. Fulham are a very good club. They probably need him to start. And if he can start week in, week out for Fulham, a team that are going to be trying to do bits, then that'll be good for him and we can get him back in next season. People look at Ryan Sessegnon and say, oh, United should buy Ryan Sessegnon. But imagine when Timothy Fosu Mensah goes into that team. If he tears it up more than Ryan Sessegnon, people will be like, Timbo's our player, let's get him in back and he can be part of this team. We don't know what Valencia is going to be doing next season. Keep your comments, keep your thoughts, keep your everything coming in on this deadline day. We've got 25 minutes, 50 seconds left of the transfer window. I think it's safe to say Manchester United are not signing anybody at all. Let's look at the players we did sign. We signed Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk. We signed Diogo Dalot from Porto. We've signed Lee Grant from Stoke City. We've kept Anthony Martial unless he leaves for an international team, a European team, between now and the end of August. Marouane Fellaini signed a new deal. But apart from that, no other business. Daley Blind was let go. Sam Johnston let go. It looks like Timothy Fosu-Mensah's off-ski. And Matteo Darmian could be one to leave further in the window, whilst that whole thing with Juventus and Napoli and Lazio or whatever lingers on. So that has been the business for United in a nutshell. Fred looks like somebody that can help us out a lot in midfield. We've lost Carrick, but Fred looks like someone that can help us with that progression from Matic to Pogba, or from defence to attack, and I think Fred can be a vital part in that. His passing ability looks decent. His engine looks decent. Question mark over his ability not to get booked. He gets booked an awful lot, and it'd be interesting to see how that translates to the Premier League. But I'm looking forward to seeing Fred in the Manchester United shirt, and I think with the disappointment of our window, I think he has gone under the radar a little bit. But I think Fred could be a very big key player for Manchester United this season, quietly, in just freeing up Pogba a little bit. We saw Pogba have a fantastic World Cup. We saw Pogba show glimpses for Manchester United. But we want to see the consistency from not only Paul Pogba, from Lukaku, from Martial, from Rashford, from Sanchez, from Mata. We need to see all that. So I think Fred could be a key in unlocking us going forward. As for Diogo Dalot, I don't know an awful lot about him. He's obviously one for the future. Jose Mourinho seemingly loves him, says he's the best fullback at his age, and Diogo Dalot signing makes sense. We need a fullback, bring him in. If Darmian does leave, okay, but that's his replacement kind of thing. But with Timothy Fosu-Mensah's future, then it kind of it's like left that a little bit weird, because you've got Diogo Dalot, who's been bought as a fullback to play there. Fosu-Mensah was getting minutes at fullback. Seemingly he was the one that was going to take over from Valencia. And now you've got Fosu, who doesn't really have a position. We know he can play DM. We know he can play right back, centre back. We need him to nail down a position so we can come back to United and say, this is my spot. I'm taking this one. That's why it'd be interesting if we did continue with the back three, 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it, because I think Fosu in a few years could be tidy on the right or the left of a back three. Anthony Martial's future was obviously up in the air as well. Sorry about that. I was just taking a moment. Let me get a drink. We've been speaking for about 35 minutes now. At least we got a confirmed deal through the door in Timothy Fosu-Mensah, but I do need a drink, that is for sure. Even Wolves spent more than United, says Christopher Rashford. Guys, we got almost 1,200 people watching, but we've only got 270 likes. Come on, fix that up. Let's get to 500 likes at least. Come on. Come on, who's with me? Do it. Do it right now. I'm going to be diving back into those comments shortly. What is disappointing, says Manpreet, is that everyone is talking about our failure to sign a centre-back. No one is talking about what Mourinho can do with the current teams and players like Pereira and Timothy Fosu-Mensah, says Manpreet. Now, Manpreet, Fosu-Mensah, if you haven't heard, is going out on loan to Fulham. Andreas Pereira, I'm going to address that shortly because I think he could have a massive season ahead. But Manpreet, I can understand why people are focusing on what Manchester United haven't got, because that's exactly what Jose Mourinho has done. In the press, in pre-season, whenever he's been spoken to about the team, about the squad, about the football. He's mentioned what we haven't got. He's brought that negativity out. He didn't have to, but he did. Now, whether he was sending a message to the board or whatever is by the by, because he was still sending that message out. So what do you expect the media and the fans to do? He makes it easy for them. Yash says, keep it live to the end of the window. We're going to be live until 5 p.m. and then I'm going to be live on Full Time Devils. So make sure you're keeping it locked for all of that. Nothing going on, guys. Absolutely fuck all going on. What a deadline day it has been. I'm glad they've changed it around though, and 5 o'clock. I'm not going into the early hours with that fucking knobhead Jim White with his stupid yellow tie. What an absolute bellend. He thinks he is the deadline. Bro, shut up, man. I can't stand that Jim White prick. We've actually gone very close to 500 likes, so seemingly you guys listened. Now, I've seen a lot of people that have been talking about the Glazers and saying Woodward out, Glazers out, and all this. Now, it makes me laugh when this comes during transfer window, because like, you should already hate the Glazers. You should already hate the owners, because they're absolute leeches. They are cretins. They are the shit off my shoe. I can't stand the Glazers. Never have, never will. But bringing it up because you don't get a signing is just weird. Like, you should already know that they're what they're like. You should already know that money is the main priority to them. Like, I can't stand that. Oh, let's get the Glazers out on deadline day because you haven't got a signing. Really? Why don't you say that before? 19 minutes left of the transfer window. Jose out. No players want to play for United, says Charles de Montmort. Yes, Medley, good luck with your paper round, bro. Thank you for tuning in. Blackburn to Bolton, that's a mission. Are we in danger of becoming the next Arsenal, says Golu Verma. We'll never be the next Arsenal. We've actually got history. We've actually got, prestige. We're actually a top tier club. Arsenal aren't, never will be. They think they are, but they're not. So we will never be Arsenal, but in the sense that our owners only care about Champions League football. Our owners only care about money and not trophies. We very well could be. We very well could be. Never expected this from the biggest club in the world. As someone in Hong Kong, what? What's your season predictions, is Ryan Mackinnon. I'm not going to give you my season predictions right about now because, of course, we're going to be doing a video, a debate video with myself and, of course, with Dean later on tonight at around 8 p.m. So make sure you join us for that. No signings from Manchester United on deadline day. Only 3 signings throughout the whole summer. That has been Fred, Diogo Dalot, and of course Lee Grant. No other signings in for Manchester United. Today's only business seemingly is Timifosu Mensah to Fulham. Now, I am assuming that it's a loan deal. It would make sense to be a loan deal. It was linked with a loan move to Berlin earlier. And then that obviously hasn't gone through. But if it was a permanent, I'd absolutely... What the hell? Who does that? We'd only be trying to sign him again in 2 or 3 years. Forest fan on Sky Sports. Yeah, imagine having a Forest fan on Sky Sports talking about United. Real strange. Jose's the right man, says Adam Clay. Little bit of positivity in there. Do they have to make the announcement public before 5 o'clock, says Raheel. As long as they've put the deal through with the Premier League, they can get an extra few hours to do, like, sign the contracts and that. But I don't think you'd know about it by 5 o'clock. Thoughts on Timbo going on loan to Fulham, says Mohammed. It could be good, it could be bad. I kind of hate loan moves because you never know what to expect with them. I remember Giuseppe Rossi going to... Pepe Rossi went to Newcastle. And I remember thinking, my man needs to tear it up. Because he was absolutely quality for our reserves at the time. It wasn't under 23s back then. And I love Giuseppe Rossi. And Giuseppe Rossi is obviously now... He was at Villarreal. He had loads of injuries. It didn't work out for him. But when he went to Newcastle, I wanted him to succeed. I wanted him to... And I think they had a change of manager. All of that stuff happened. And it just never, ever came off. It was a sad one, that. He was one of the... Which young players have broke your heart by not coming through and not succeeding at Manchester United? Let us know in the comments below. I think Jose is going to surprise us as Matthew. Marshall will not leave for free at the end of the season. He's contracted to he's got an extra year at the end of that one. We can trigger an extra year. But I think United will get Martial signed up to a new contract, to be totally honest with you. Timbo gone, says Sahil. Please give me your views on Pereira, says Nithian. And now I wanted Andreas Pereira to be given a chance at Manchester United. I do like Andreas Pereira. I think he's a top quality player. And I was disappointed when he went out on loan last year, like I said earlier, but it proved to be a good decision for him because he's now come back to Manchester United, had a very good pre-season, and it's at a time where he could cement a place in this first team, potentially starting against Leicester City. So his decision to go on loan was a good one for him. I think he's a very talented player. I think if I was ranking on midfielders, I'd go Pogba, Matic, Fred, Herrera, and then Pereira. I think he's that good. I think he's better than McTominay, better than Fellaini. Obviously, Fellaini offers something different going forward and in their final third. But I think as a pure footballer, passing and keeping the ball and retaining the ball, I think Andreas Pereira is better than McTominay, better than Fellaini. So he should realistically get minutes. Jose's tried him in that number 6 position. He's tried him there a couple of times. Not only this pre-season, but also the last pre-season and the pre-season before. I remember Jose's first ever game. He played him in at number 6. Andreas Pereira has been talking and been listening to Michael Carrick, Kieran McKenna, working with them. And I think he could prove to be a very key player for United this season. Nemanja Matic isn't getting it any younger. Obviously, he's injured at the start of the season. Andreas Pereira is going to come in and play in that position. And whilst he's not physically that kind of threat and physically as intimidating as a Nemanja Matic, he has got the quick feet, the passing ability, the reading of, he's got the pace, he's got the speed to be able to do the job in there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how Andreas Pereira gets on tomorrow night against Leicester City. "12 minutes to go of the transfer window." The last confirmed bit of news was, of course, that we had Timothy Fosu meant to go out on loan to Fulham. Now, will there be any further news in the last 11 and a half minutes? Does anyone remember Rodrigo Possebon? Yes, I do, Matthew. And Emmanuel Pogatetz, when we played Middlesbrough, absolutely clattered him. It may have been in the League Cup. And that was kind of the last we saw from Rodrigo Possebon. Top player in the reserves. Pereira's going to feel like a new signing, says Demis. Could do. Sanchez is going to feel like a new signing, because I'm looking forward to seeing Sanchez this season. I know I got in his back a lot last season. It's because he didn't pull his weight when he played a lot of the time. Against City, against Spurs in the FA Cup, he was fantastic. But apart from that, he wasn't good enough. Too many times his shoulders were down, his head was down, he didn't look happy, he was dropping too deep. It's not what we wanted to see. But in the pre-season, he's had a rest, no international football, had a full pre-season fitness-wise for United, had a lot of football in pre-season, and he's looking ready to go. He's looking a different player to the one that we saw in a United shirt last season most of the time. So really looking forward to seeing more from Alexis Sánchez. And not only can Andreas Pereira bring something different to the team this season, so can Alexis Sánchez. I want 20 goals from Sánchez. I want, we should get 20 goals plus from Lukaku, 20 goals between Martial, Rashford. They should be getting really 20 in all comps if they get enough football. But we need to play in a very, very more open brand of football to get the best out of these players. I'm not saying all out attack. I'm not saying gung-ho. I'm not saying any of that because I know what Jose Mourinho's like. But we need to play to these players' strengths to get the best out of them. Otherwise, you could have any strikers up there. They're not going to do the job. 10 more minutes, says M. Ahmed. We will have a poor season, says Callum. I don't know. It's could go either way. I'd say don't write us off, but I can understand the pessimism, and I understand your pessimism because I have felt the same for a lot of this pre-season. But what I will say as well is that there's no way that I'm not going to be up for it tomorrow. It's a new season, fresh start, Old Trafford, floodlights on, United against Leicester, the crowd, the football, the smell of the pitch, everything. It's back. It's back. And you have to be happy for that, whether we finish 4th or 1st. Just being able to watch football, watch Manchester United week in, week out. It's a privilege. Don't you ever forget that. We've been so spoiled over the years. And yes, it might take a while for us to get back to the top, but we got to stick with them. And we still got to look forward to the season. Even if after the first game, if we draw or lose, I will be moaning. And I will have forgotten what I've just said. But that's what we love about football. Eamon says, is Timbo a loan or permanent? I am assuming it is on a loan, but I'm not for certain. Jaden says he's done with Mourinho's boring football. 1,300 people watching at this moment in time. I'm going to redirect you guys as well, because in 9 minutes time we're closing this stream and then we're going live on Full Time Devils, so you're going to want to come over there and have another further little discussion with us. But at the moment, 1,200 people watching this stream, and I would love it if at least half of you could head back to youtube.com/Adam McKola at 8 PM UK time tonight for the preview / debate with myself and Dean. So make sure you join us for that as well. Can we hit 750 likes on this video? Get hitting that like button. Kieran says Full Time Devils best United fan channel by far. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's been 6 years. It'll be 6 years in January, February since I started doing Full Time Devils. Been there from the start. This is the 5th season we're doing it now. We started when we won the league. So the first season we done it, we won the league. Since then, nothing. No league titles. We've had a few trophies, but no league titles. Will that change this year? Will we get 21? But I'm really looking forward to doing Full Time Devils fan cams, chatting to the fans again, getting back at Old Trafford. Everything that comes with the football and the season. Happy birthday, Blade X. Wayne says, shit window. I'm out. Safe, United fans. Paul says Alexis hat-trick tomorrow. Have you got an EPL Fantasy League? I haven't, no. Maybe I'll sort something out. No signings yet, says Football News for All. No signings for Manchester United. We have had one confirmed deal today, and that has been Timothy Fosu-Mensah, who has left the club and has joined Fulham. It's seemingly on loan, but I'm not too sure. 7 minutes left for Manchester United to get, 6 minutes left for Manchester United to get some deals done. It's not going to happen, is it, guys? And it looks like Manchester United's only signings this summer are going to be those of Lingard, Fred and Diogo Dalot. Now, I think Fred could be a fantastic player for Manchester United. But having said that, I do still think we have missed out a little bit. We should have been signing possibly a left back, definitely a centre half, and we didn't do either of those things. And now we have to rely on Luke Shaw having the season of his life and coming good for Manchester United, which isn't impossible. But after the way things have gone so far between him and Mourinho, it's a question mark. We have to rely on Eric Bailly, Victor Lindelöf being the defenders that Jose Mourinho paid him for the whole season. We can't have a month and then they're injured for 3, and then a month and then they're out, and then this and that and the other, and then I'm not playing Bailey because he's not got an international game coming up. We need them in the team, because without that centre half signing, without that, we need those two. We can't be relying on what has gone before. If I see that defence of Valencia, Smalling, Jones and Young again this season, I think I'll cry. I genuinely think I'll cry, because that defence is awful. That defence should have been left in 2012. That defence should never have been seen again. But somehow it survived up until 2018. Now, all due respects to Chrissy Smalling, Phil Jones, Ashley Young, I still think they could have their parts to play at the club. We're keeping them now. Ashley Young, fantastic squad player. Phil Jones, when he's fit, I think he can do a job. Far too often he's not fit. Far too often he has mental lapses. Chris Smalling, I just don't think he's good enough. But he has done a job for United in the past. And I think as squad players, they can do something. But if we're relying on them to be main 11, first 11 defenders for United this season, we're not winning the league. And that's why it was important to get signings done. Because without that centre half, without that left back, there's far too many question marks in our defence. And that is what makes me doubt whether we will win the league. But on the flip side, despite us making no signings going forward, apart from the midfield signing of Fred, apart from us making any signings going forward, Alexis Sánchez is going to come good this season. Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, we need to see more from both of them. Jose Mourinho needs to get them happy and get them playing regularly. Jesse Lingard had his best season ever last season. He could improve again. Juanma Lukaku, Pogba. Pogba's a world champion now. So if we can get what we need to out of those, we can beat anybody. But it relies on us doing things that we weren't doing last season. It relies on us tweaking things a little bit. And Jose, granted, hasn't had a chance to do that in pre-season. I hope I see signs of change throughout the early season. But there's too many question marks at the moment. And that's what makes me doubt whether we'll win or challenge for the league. But we do have the players there. We've just got to unlock it. Seriously, just got to unlock it. What do you guys think? Get your comments in below. We have nearly hit 53,400 subscribers. We're just 11 away. And I know with almost 1,300 of you watching that there's at least 700 of you, 600 of you not subscribed. So hit that subscribe button right now. Do me a favour. And if you are subscribed, hit that like button. Can we hit 1,000 likes? We're on around 650 at the moment. We've got 2 minutes left of the transfer window. Remember, as soon as I'm finished here, I'm heading over to Full Time Devils, so make sure you join us there. I'm going to get to a few of your comments right about now as well. What is your minimum expectations this season? My minimum expectations this season is for Manchester United to challenge for the league title. I know we finished second last season, but I never ever felt like once we could win the league. I want to feel like at least at one point in the season, that league title could potentially be coming home this season. We need to challenge. Have to. Jose Mourinho will be thinking, what the hell's gone on here? I haven't challenged for a league title, come close to a sniff of it in 2 seasons. This has to be the season, right? United and Mourinho have gone too long without a league title. We need to work together to get this. Yerry Mina has been confirmed as a Everton signing. Hate to say I told you so again, guys. I'm not even in the know yet, and I get things right a lot. I'm not in the know, but my gut tells me some things sometimes. Like, My gut told me when Martial wasn't on with the squad in Bayern Munich, I said relax, he's going nowhere. Yerry Mina, I said he's going Everton, or Leon, he's not coming to United. My gut gets me there sometimes. It gets me there. Alderweireld isn't happening, says Andrew96. It does look that way. Brendan says keep the faith. We are not getting more, says Beato. Absolute shite, says Leonardo. A-Lang says technicality is dead loan, dead over. Deadline's dead over, says Ryan. Ryan says fuck. Bad clubs below us all strengthening. That is a very good point as well. And the transfer window is now closed, ladies and gentlemen. I have been Adam McKola. You've all been absolute legends for sticking with us. Thank you to you guys that tuned in, new viewers, new subscribers, all of that. And if you want more on the transfer window, head over to Full Time Devils right now because we're going live there. I've been Adam McKola. I'm out of here.